Hi, my name is Peter Davos, and I'm the founder and CEO of Hale Education. I'm also the host of the Admission Possible podcast. Today, my guest is Kshitij Kant, formerly of DIA and now a student at Stanford University. Welcome, Kshitij.
Thank you, Peter.
How are you?
I'm doing very well.
How
about yourself?
I'm doing great. You just finished your first year at Stanford. Give me the Instagram versus reality version of Stanford.
I think it's very similar to what's advertised because I think when you get in, the slogan that they sell you is there's a place for you here. When you're going to arrive on campus, you're going to find your people, you're going to find it very comfortable, you're going to fit right in. It might take a little bit of time to get adjusted to campus life, but it's going to be an incredible experience, an incredible first year. And I think everything that I experienced genuinely met those expectations. That what they sell you is exactly what they give you.
Amazing.
There was incredible support from our academic advisors, from our resident fellows, from our residential assistants. Everyone was just incredibly warm, very welcoming, and they just made the entire experience so smooth.
Amazing. So, I mean, you are obviously traveling halfway around the world. You're excited. This is what you dream about. Every kid dreams about Stanford when they're little. But from the moment you got there, tell me a little bit about, what was going through your mind, maybe any anxiety you had, maybe what the process was like through orientation, and how long did it take for you to get settled and get your bearings, not just academically, but socially?
To be honest, I didn't really know what to expect going into it. Having done research, having lived here, researching these universities, they sell you that it's the best university in the world. Everything's incredible. They have great academics, great social life, but they don't really tell you the specifics of what to expect when you get there. How is housing going to work? Are you going to share a room? Whatever. But when you get there, they make the process super smooth. I was personally a little anxious about who I'd room with because with Stanford, it's completely random. You don't find out who your roommate is until you get there on the day.
No way.
Yeah. And I was lucky. I got my roommate was an athlete.
Okay.
He was a rower from London. So he was a really, really nice guy.
Does his alarm go off at 4:30 a.m. every morning?
That's exactly what happens. He gets up at 4:30. He goes to practice. He gets back super late, but we really did bond because the roommate pairings they do. It seems like it's random for us, but the people who do the matchings, they look at your roommate form that you fill out before you go there.
Yes.
They match you with somebody who they think that you'd become friends with.
Because part of the application, we're going back a little bit now, you have to answer the question. You have to write a letter to your future roommate.
Exactly.
Right? So what did you write in that letter? Do you remember?
I vaguely remember, but that was one of my most significant essays. I wrote that essay about my name, Kshitij Kant, which means horizon. I did have a little bit of trouble during middle school where I would be bullied for my name by my peers. But so I wrote my essay about how I overcame that, how I realized that my name means something far superior than my peers were able to understand at that point in time because they were focusing on the superficial meaning. But I realized that my name has a much deeper meaning.
Yes.
And I strive to be that. I strive to be the unreachable, which is the horizon.
And it sounds like you've done a good job so far by getting to Stanford.
I try my best, but
you're on your way. Amazing. So then you have, I think, orientation, right? You have, I don't know if it's 4 days or 5 days. What was the orientation like? You get on campus.
Yeah. So we had, first we had an international student orientation where the only people on campus are the international students. So I met everybody from Malaysia to Hong Kong to Russia to Europe to even some people from Dubai. And all of us, we had a 3-day ISO, International Student Orientation. We had a cultural dance night where we wore our cultural, traditional clothing.
Did you happen to just pack that, or did you have to?
I actually intentionally packed my kurta for Diwali.
Okay.
So I just wore that, and it was really, really incredible to see so much diversity, even in the US, even so far away from home, which we're very used to diversity here in the UAE.
Yes.
And we sometimes don't realize that this diversity is fostered in other places of the world as well.
Yeah. And I think what's interesting is that a lot of times students look at the international student population numbers.
Yeah,
And they think that's the extent of the diversity.
exactly.
But then you have, I don't know, Americans like me whose parents are from another country.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of native-born Americans whose parents are immigrants or have an immigrant background. So is that something you kind of encounter on a daily basis at Stanford?
Yeah, so I was actually about to get to this. So after the ISO, we have the NSO, which then lasts a week. That's new student orientation. So after all the international students get there, 3 days later, all the freshmen get there. And this includes people of all backgrounds, all diversities, all of whom live in the US. Now, the US actually, I think, has one of the largest immigrant populations, and all the domestic students are counted in that. So when NSO came around, I met a lot of people who are originally from Korea, but lived in the US, in Idaho or Texas or Arkansas. And meeting all these people, you realize that there's not just diversity, international diversity, but also a lot of domestic diversity within the US, which is something that I saw at Stanford. Interestingly, our demographic comprises of almost 50% Asian. And so the diversity at Stanford is much like that in Dubai. You're going to meet a lot of different people.
Yeah. So that I'm sure brought some familiarity, let's say, to the setting.
Yeah, it made it easier for me to settle in. The reason that NSO is a week long is because they want you to get enough time to get settled in. And our academic advisors, to make it easier on especially freshmen to get adjusted to college life, they advise us to take a less number of units because they say verbatim that getting used to college life is a 3-unit course. It takes almost 10 hours a week to understand how to do your laundry, to get used to waking up at whatever time you need to wake up for your first class, get used to going to class, especially on a campus as large as ours. If you don't leave at least 10 minutes before class starts, you're going to be late.
Absolutely. And I think it's that independence, getting used to being on your own and being accountable. 100%. And, no one's going to call your mom if you sleep in.
Exactly.
Right? No one's going to give her a ring and be like, oh, Kshitij didn't show up to Econ 102 today. I'm guessing that kind of personal responsibility, that was not a huge challenge. Is that a fair statement?
I don't think it was a challenge for me.
Yes.
But I can imagine why it could be a challenge for some people. They're not used to all the independence that they get at college.
Yes.
So it can be a challenge, which is why they give you so much leniency in your first quarter. For me personally, I've been pretty independent most of my life, with both my parents working. So I spent a lot of time taking care of myself as well.
Good.
So I think when I went to college, it wasn't too big of a change from being at home.
Yes.
And also, I feel like I'm pretty flexible in that sense. So going to the US, I was comfortable just rolling right in, doing everything myself, using my Tide Pods to do my laundry.
Yes. Yeah. Separating the colors from the whites. Yeah.
Making sure I don't stain my clothes. Yeah.
I've ruined many a t-shirt by putting a new color towel in with the other. It's not a good idea. Very good. It's interesting. You talked about, flexibility. The freedom you have also in terms of choosing your courses.
Yes.
And you're in a quarter system over there. Tell us about that, because coming from the IB, where it's 2 years, the same 6 classes, it's very, you have a roadmap,
Exactly.
so very different from the US. So and especially at Stanford. So tell us a little bit about that transition.
I think the IB especially prepares you very well for college. The IB is very fast-paced, even though you have the same 6 subjects. There's a lot of content packed into those 6 subjects. Going into the quarter system, we take a semester's worth of content, like 15 weeks worth of content, and squeeze it into 10 weeks. So it's just as fast-paced as the IB. We don't have... Actually, I'll take that back. We have just as much work as the IB as well. It's just that the content's a little bit more difficult, of course. College level content.
Yes.
But adjusting to that as well wasn't too difficult coming from the IB background. It prepares you very well.
Yes.
And the amount of work we have, you stay busy for like 60 hours a week.
No question.
No question.
Oh, you're only in class for about 15, right?
Maybe less.
Even less.
You have a lot of work that you have to do independently.
Yeah.
Of course, you're not going to be held accountable by your professors. They're not going to email you and say, you've not submitted your work. That's college life for you.
Yeah.
But they give you a lot of opportunity to make sure that you submit your work, that you get the grade for it, late deadlines, whatever.
Yeah.
But there has to be some initiative from your end.
Yes.
That's what I found. And again, the IB, it instills that holistic initiative in you. So
Yes.
you're gonna want to do your work. You're gonna want to be as successful as you can.
Yes.
At college.
And I think the exposure to lots of different classes, right? So let's do your first semester. What were your classes?
I was taking Math 21, which is like Calculus 2. I was taking Econ 1. I was taking College 101, which is a general education requirement. And then I was taking an Intrasem, an introductory seminar. That's another special thing that Stanford has.
Yes, which they have dozens of them and you get to select.
Exactly. It's like a soft introduction to something new that you want to explore. The Intrasem I took was in energy. I didn't have any experience in energy sciences or like sustainability. But that was a very nice introduction to the world of like busting energy myths and finding out how the true impact of the energy we use is separated from what companies sell you, which might be like fake data or whatever.
So expand on that a little bit because this is interesting.
Yeah. Our professor for that course, by the way, his name was Channing Robertson. A very interesting guy. He was on the board of Theranos, if you've heard of it.
Oh, sure do. Stanford's most famous alumna.
Yes.
Or alumna.
He was
Elizabeth Holmes. Wow.
Exactly. He was the scientific lead for that company.
No way.
So he was actually in court testifying against the company.
Yes.
So that he doesn't go to jail.
Yeah.
But moving on. But he was actually very instrumental to the course because he's very passionate about energy, the chemical side of energy. And then all Intrasems are actually taught by two professors. So he was the chemical side of the energy world. On the other side, we had a sustainability professor from the Dorr School of Sustainability.
Interesting.
And so the two of them came together to create this incredible course where they would teach students about, the course was named Busting Energy Myths.
Okay.
They'd assign us a myth every week for
Okay.
10 weeks. And we would spend the week as a group researching the myth, finding out why it's a myth, so the communication aspect of it, convincing people that it's a myth, and then debunking the myth. Is it actually true? Why is it not true? What is the reality of it? And so we got all aspects of like exploring, doing research, exploring the energy, the technical energy side of it, and then diving deep into like a psychological side as well.
Interesting. So did they give you the general framework? Then it was up to you to work in small teams, essentially?
Yeah, exactly. They generally did in the first week, they explained how it would work. And then every week, all they'd give us was like a sentence. By 2040, emissions are going to double.
Okay.
And it would be up to us to try and debunk the myth, find out where it came from.
Totally up to you how you went about that.
Yeah.
That's really great. And very different, again, from any kind of high school learning where it's like rote learning and then regurgitation of the content. Here, you have to kind of think, innovate, plan, strategize, then execute and collaborate, right?
Precisely. It's very independent. You require a lot of like self-motivation to actually go about doing the research. And then it's almost like a learning process. Instead of being told what is true, you're going to go on an exploratory journey where you find out what is true.
Interesting. I have a myth that maybe you can debunk. The hardest part about Stanford is getting in. Myth or fact?
I think that's a myth. I think
Okay.
getting in is, of course, difficult, no doubt.
Yes.
But you're going to spend a lot of time actually confused about, actually, you're going to feel a lot of time being anxious.
Okay.
That you're missing out on all the opportunity that is at Stanford because so much happens every single day, every single week. To try and reduce your anxiety, they have a weekly newsletter that goes out on Monday.
Okay.
And that has all the events that are happening on campus for the entire week.
Professional, social,
Everything.
Academic, everything.
Everything that you can imagine. There's even like animal petting sessions to try and...
Sign me up. I'm there.
Exactly. To try and boost your well-being.
Have you gone to one of those?
I have.
What kind of animals they have?
They had llamas, they had dogs, they had chickens.
No ligers or anything exotic.
No. But Stanford really likes llamas.
Okay.
It's an interesting tradition that we have.
I didn't know that.
Whenever we have animals, you're bound to find llamas there.
Good to know. In case you need one, there's going to be one around somewhere.
Exactly. But the newsletter has everything in it, from like these animal petting well-being sessions to painting rocks, or genuine like professional employers coming to campus.
Yes.
There's a career fest on campus.
Yes.
So this it reduces your anxiety a little bit because you know what's happening, but you have so much coursework going on.
Yeah.
So then it's difficult to balance all your academics with all this extracurricular stuff, all your social stuff. There's a saying we have at Stanford. You can really only choose 2 out of 3 of sleep,
Yep.
so social interactions, and academics.
And which 2 have you chosen?
I think I've prioritized my social and academic aspect. The IB got me used to a lack of sleep, so I just continued that as is.
Yeah. I think, that's amazing. It sounds like you're having a pretty balanced, though, rewarding experience. Yeah. Another thing that I want to ask actually is, when we think about university, a lot of students think it's just about the academics, but it's so much more, right?
100%. I think the academics at most universities are going to be very similar. Of course, the professors you have, a professor at Stanford has a lot of research.
Yes.
That is a big difference. But I think the biggest thing that differs between universities is the people you meet there.
Correct.
And I think that's the most important thing at university.
Yes.
You should spend a lot of your time interacting with other people, socializing with them, going out for dinner, or doing your homework together or whatnot. You should spend your time, I think I spend my time, as much of my time as possible, being around other people.
Yes.
Because that's, I think, what the biggest thing I have to gain from being at Stanford.
Yes.
Meeting all the people there, and
it's your peers and your professors and
100%.
Creating those bonds that will last. I can tell you from, Hopkins, I have 2 professors that I'm still in touch with, have lunch with every time I go. And that's, goodness, I don't even want to say, 29 years after I enrolled. Wow, incredible. Yeah. But it's also interesting because you'll probably use the same textbook, right? If you go to Stanford, if you go to Chico State, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the professor who wrote the textbook is teaching you at Stanford.
Exactly.
and probably the discussions you'll have in that class at Stanford are going to be a little bit different.
Exactly.
It's not about the content, right?
Exactly. It's about A, the experience, and B, the people. The people at Stanford. Stanford does a very good job at filtering out, filtering to get the people who really fit in and gel together.
Yeah.
So everybody you'll meet at Stanford is just incredible.
So tell me, what are some of those characteristics you think they look for? So what, are they looking for as opposed to any other university? Because Stanford has its own vibe and its own type.
We have a very specific subset of people at our university. And I think if we are to generalize, the specific characteristics I can think of is warm, humble, friendly, incredibly talented. Yeah. But that again, the humility that everybody has, it underlines the talent that everybody has.
Yeah. And I think that's a very West Coast thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
Chilled out, like everybody's just okay. And I don't know, you could be talking to someone and then find out they're an Olympic, athlete and probably medaled in the last games in 3 events or something. You're like, wow.
Exactly.
It's just like,
or there's like a random dude in your dorm who is in the Forbes 30 under 30 list.
Amazing.
Which is that's a real story.
Is that in your dorm? So tell me about this gentleman.
He started his own company at the age of 17 to help with his sister's chronic headaches. And he's a very big physics nerd, so he invented this headpiece that emits some sort of wave. I'm not too sure about the specific technical part of it.
Yeah.
But because of his invention and his company, he was actually featured in the 30 under 30 list for healthcare.
Oh, that's amazing.
So, and I would interact with him almost on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Incredible person.
Yeah.
I did not know he was in the list.
He wouldn't come out and just tell you, by the way. He was not carrying the magazine to let everybody know down the hallway.
he wouldn't even post it on his Instagram story because he didn't want to show off.
That's great.
Yeah.
But that shows you the value system there. And that's, I think, really important.
Yeah.
One thing I've heard from Stanford students, or some of them, is that sometimes they suffer from imposter syndrome. That like, everybody's so bright, everybody's so incredible. And then they start wondering, did they make a mistake by admitting me? Do I really belong here? Is that a thing or no?
It is a thing. Actually, we at Stanford, we have imposter syndrome, but we also have duck syndrome.
Yes.
Duck syndrome is when it's like a duck swimming through a pond.
Yes.
On the surface, everything is super still. It seems like the duck is gliding effortlessly.
Yeah.
But in reality, under the water, the duck is kicking their legs.
Feverishly paddling.
Exactly. Paddling as hard as they can.
Yeah.
And that is something that's very common at Stanford because when you're around, you feel like you're not good enough, but you also feel like you're not doing enough. You feel like everybody else is doing so much without even trying.
Yeah.
Everyone is a part of a club.
Yeah.
Everyone has like a friend group.
Yeah.
And you feel excluded from everything.
Yeah.
But something that you come to realize is that everyone feels the same way. Everyone goes through imposter syndrome or duck syndrome or duck syndrome. And Stanford actually has a course during the first quarter for freshmen. It's called Frosh 101.
Okay.
And the entire point of the course is to help ease your transition into college. They go through topics like belonging at Stanford.
Wow.
Like feeling included, fighting the feeling of imposter syndrome and duck syndrome. So they actually help you realize that it's not just you who feels these things, but everybody feels these things.
Yes.
And we have it's a very small group session type of thing for an hour and a half every week.
Wow.
Yeah. So we have weekly sessions. It's barely 10, 15 people. And we break up into even smaller groups. We discuss what we're feeling with each other. We sympathize with each other. We talk about what we really value in terms of like our beliefs and ethics. We also talk about what's really important to us.
Yes.
In terms of like what we want to prioritize. Now that we're at college, we have all this independence.
Yeah.
How are we going to use our time?
Yes.
And so it's another thing to add to the previous list of values at Stanford. I think another thing I'd add is this ability to be transparent, to share, to be honest.
That's encouraged.
Yeah, this is really encouraged. And especially courses like Frosh 101, where it's in a seminar style.
Yeah.
Everyone is very open.
Amazing.
And everyone's very willing to help.
Yeah. That's great. That's not the case everywhere, as I'm sure you know.
I've heard some interesting things about other universities.
Exactly. Some are very pre-professional.
Yes.
Where everyone's trying to get ahead at the expense of their peers. And it's hyper-competitive. And you're competing for the internships from the first day.
Exactly.
Right? And it's like, if I can get ahead at the expense of this guy, then,
why not?
Absolutely.
Yeah. At Stanford, it's almost the opposite because everybody wants to see everybody else succeed. It's not like we don't prioritize ourselves, but
you celebrate each other's successes.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Absolutely. Another question I had is like the stereotype is that everyone who goes to Stanford is working on a startup. They're trying to go to Y Combinator and, achieve unicorn status in 5 years. Is that true, somewhat true, or totally untrue?
I cannot deny this. I actually...
This myth is true.
It is true.
Yeah.
I applied to Y Combinator for the summer batch, actually got in.
No way.
Yeah.
Congrats. I didn't know that.
Thank you.
I feel like I should have known that. Yeah.
It was an interesting opportunity. I think Y Combinator is great.
Yeah.
But as a freshman, I think compromising on the college experience might not be worth it.
Yeah. Because you have to give it up.
You have to give it up. You have to
withdraw
drop
from
out.
school. Yeah.
And actually pursuing Y Combinator maybe 2 or 3 years from now, when I have a little bit more experience, maybe when I'm done with college.
Yeah.
I think that would be a lot more worth it.
Yeah.
You get the best of both worlds.
100%. Because we all know that, there's a very high failure rate among startups, right?
Yeah.
That's okay, right? Yeah. But at least you'll have a Stanford degree if that happens and be better positioned for the next project.
Yeah. But that being said, I know that there's a very big startup culture. I've seen it personally.
Yeah.
Where everybody wants to have a startup. I remember...
Please, sorry, go ahead.
I remember a statistic I'd like to share.
Yeah.
That at least 60% of Stanford students have at least thought of starting their own startup. everyone's always looking for ideas. There's actually this very funny thing where we have dating for or speed dating for founders,
Okay.
where you meet other people
Yes.
and you're trying to form a founding team.
So maybe
Start a
I'm a
company.
highly, I don't know, I'm the Steve Jobs and I need my Steve Wozniak.
Exactly. Speed
That would be
dating.
on my profile, by the way, description. Or I'm looking for a finance guru, right? Someone who can really run numbers, who's great at. Yeah.
Or I'm looking for someone who's a coding god who's been coding since they were 6.
And did you participate in this?
I did not.
Okay.
I actually applied to Y Combinator with my friends.
Okay.
Do you remember Aryan, who actually went to Hale?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Him and I applied together.
No way.
Yeah.
So let's back up because this is fascinating. We have so many kids interested in startups. So first of all, when did you start working on the idea? What is the idea? And then when did you go down this whole Y Combinator road? So let's start at the beginning.
It was a very spontaneous thing where I was almost about to end school. There was maybe 2 or 3 weeks left.
So in June of 2024, basically.
25.
25, sorry.
College.
Oh, college.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Like
The idea came to you then?
mhm.
So recently?
we applied late actually to Y Combinator.
Okay.
We came up with the idea.
Yeah.
Aryan reached out to me.
Tell us who Aryan is, so maybe not everybody does.
Aryan is a very good friend of mine who actually goes to Brown University right now.
And you studied together at DIA.
Yes,
Aryan
that's
Sahni.
That's right.
Yeah.
So he reached out to me
Yeah.
and he's like, "Do you want to apply to Y Combinator? It's late, but it's worth a shot."
Did you
I'm
have an
like-
idea or no? We're just like, well,
We're just like, we'll figure it out. I'm like, okay, let's do it.
no way. This is crazy.
So we come up with the idea.
Yeah.
In the span of 2 weeks, we apply.
Yeah.
We get an interview.
What is the idea? You gotta tell us
The idea was a personal AI voice assistant,
Okay.
much like Siri, but a lot better. That
Okay.
integrates with everything.
Yeah.
The way that we wanted to sell it is, imagine you could replace your assistant if you're like a manager or something.
Well, I'm thinking about it. But yes, please go ahead.
This AI voice assistant would be able to sort through your emails, schedule meetings for you,
Yes.
all like maybe
Yes.
while you're driving home in the
Yeah.
span of half an hour.
No way.
Yeah, and it would be super convenient, super. It was an idea,
Integrated.
yeah.
But this is not like earth shattering. This is not like you reinvented the wheel, right? This
No,
is,
but I think
yeah.
a lot of what Y Combinator looks for
Yeah.
is something that would actually be successful
Okay.
in that sense.
Okay.
And at the moment, with how quickly AI is advancing,
Yeah.
this was something that might have been really effective.
Yeah.
An AI voice assistant that didn't actually exist and would better something like Siri.
Okay. Which Siri is horrendous. Anybody
Yes.
who uses it can
Siri
tell you
is
it's
just
like just
horrible.
waste. Yeah.
Yeah, so we came up with the idea. We filmed our video. We applied. We got an
Is it
interview.
a 2-week window between
Yeah.
ideation or
Yeah.
the idea of let's apply to Y Combinator
Yeah,
to
yeah.
the submission?
Barely 2 weeks.
Oh,
Maybe
my
less.
goodness. You should give seminar. We should do a podcast on this.
But yeah, so we got an interview. We got in like
man.
within 2 days. 2 days after the
That's
interview.
nuts.
But unfortunately, because of visa issues and like actually for me wanting to complete college,
Yeah.
I think that I personally value the college experience
Wow.
a lot.
Yeah.
So that among that and visa issues, I
Yeah.
thought that it might be a better idea to pursue Y Combinator
Later.
years later.
And when you told them that,
Mm-hmm.
did their jaws drop? Were you like, were they?
They were fine
they
with
were
that
totally
because
okay.
I think they also understand that as international students, we have a lot of backlog and pressure on us.
Mhm.
We can't just tell Stanford, "Hey, I'll be back in a year and a half."
Yes.
Even though Stanford allows leave of absences on my visa status, on an F1 visa status, we can't just
You can't do
pause
that.
school.
Yeah. It's a
Because you
student
lose your
visa.
visa status.
It's a student visa, exactly.
You're not allowed to stay in the country.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Y Combinator and the startup culture is really big,
Yeah.
and a lot of people like that's all they chase.
So how many friends of yours do you know, or, you're from your peer group applied to Y Combinator?
A lot of people don't rush straight to applying to Y Combinator.
Okay.
They work on startups among themselves.
Yeah.
At Stanford, we actually have like business pre-professional startup clubs and like specific groups of people who apply to be a part of like BASES and ACES.
Yeah.
And those are like entrepreneurial 10-week sessions. They take you to visit sites like Google, Facebook.
Yes.
They then have sessions to try and instill the entrepreneurship values. And by the end, you have to come up with your own entrepreneurial idea. And I had a lot of friends who were actually part of these. I wasn't personally.
Yeah.
But again, you don't have to be part of like any specific group to do something at Stanford.
If I was in the bases and aces and then I heard this story. I spent 10 weeks going there, and this guy just came up with an idea. 2 weeks, he got accepted to White. I'd be like scratching my head. I'd be flabbergasted. I mean, did your friends know about this, or did the story get around, or not yet?
I actually haven't told many people about this. Yeah.
They will eventually, and it'll be a great discussion piece. Fun. Very cool. Wow. Amazing. So when I think Stanford, I think startup culture. I also think sports. And I think even if you're not an athlete, right, you are at a university which champions athletic excellence. And, have you gone to any of the sporting events there?
I think when you're at Stanford, we really celebrate our athletes. We really celebrate that culture. So like I personally, I've been to American football games. I've been to basketball games.
Amazing.
The gymnastic meets. I've been to the track and field events.
Yeah.
And like, it's not just me going. I go with friends from my dorm. We're all very excited to go. We have a lot of friends who are athletes because during your freshman year, they actually mix the athletes into residences dorms with us.
Which is very also atypical.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen at other universities.
Exactly. And because we're living with these athletes, they're our friends. We're going to cheer our friends on.
Yeah.
I have a friend on the basketball team. I have a friend on the football team. And the reason I also went to the gymnastic meet is to cheer my friend on.
Amazing.
So like because of the fact that these people are so close to you, you're even more incentivized to go to the athletic games.
Incredible. Which one was the most amazing event from a fan, spectator perspective?
To be honest, I can't really choose because that would be a little...
controversial. We don't want any of them to hear this podcast.
But if we're...
be offended.
If we're talking about like the sport itself, American football is completely new. So I didn't really understand it.
Yeah.
I think the most fun to watch was basketball.
Amazing. So with the, I'm just going to call it football. My wife will yell at me later for that. But who did they play against? Who did Stanford play against?
I went to the game where they played against Louisiana State.
Okay, LSU.
LSU.
Powerhouse.
Yeah. But we actually ended up beating them.
That's what I
Very surprising.
Amazing.
I didn't go to the big game against Hale.
Yes.
That was on their campus. And
that's like 90,000 people.
It's a big tradition.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to go. It was just before Thanksgiving. But I know that a lot of my friends who went, they really enjoyed the big game.
Yeah.
The stadium was divided like by color. One side of the stadium was yellow. The other side was red.
Yeah.
And I had a friend who accidentally ended up in the Berkeley side.
Oh, no.
And she got booed.
Oh, my God. Rightly so. How did she get lost if it's just everyone's wearing yellow and you're like...
I think she was meeting a friend from Berkeley and she ended up there and it just...
That friend should have bought an extra t-shirt for her. Something with a little bear, something cute on there. Well, lesson learned. She won't make that mistake again.
No,
I don't think so.
I know that she won't.
Super cool. So, I think, college, you said it, the people, a set of experiences. What else have been some of the memorable experiences, from your first year, whether it's, again, traditions or particular, classes or, anything? What has stuck out? What has resonated with you if you look back on your first year now?
I think there's a lot to unpack here. Let's start with like academics. In terms of my classes, I really enjoyed a lot the introsims that I did. I really liked the general education requirements for the first year because we have 2 quarters of the college requirement, which is a sort of civic liberal education style.
Like
seminar.
liberal arts, as we say.
Yeah. So depending on which quarter you take it, you're learning about, you do a lot of reading, which is very different from high school. Like we're reading texts from the 1960s, the 1860s, from the...
Antiquity? Anything from antiquity?
And I'm not sure if it's from antiquity, but it was from the Emancipation Proclamation era.
Okay.
From
1860.
Yeah, exactly. MLK Jr., so on.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of like It's sort of like TOK in the IB.
Yeah.
Very, very theoretical, very philosophical, if you will.
It's teaching you how to think.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. The STEM classes are very, very well structured because they're heavy for sure. But the weekly PSET structure that fits very well with me. And then especially for CS classes, they have assignments where it's like coding assignments, and that is really interesting because it's atypical. They make it very engaging.
Okay.
It's very real world based.
Okay.
So like when you take CS 106B, which is the DSA, data structures and algorithms class at Stanford, you're going to be doing a lot of work with like, I don't know if you've heard of like the Banzaf index.
Nope.
It's like, it's sort of like deciding which state is the swing state or has the most power in a voting system, like in the US Electoral College.
Right. That I understand.
So you like code up an algorithm that calculates that.
Okay.
Or maybe have you heard of Huffman encoding? It's like compressing files.
Okay.
When you create a zip file, that's actually using Huffman encoding.
Okay.
So you actually code up an algorithm that compresses files.
Okay. That sounds useful.
You do a lot of hands-on work.
Yeah.
Moving on, I think academics itself is incredible. But the social life, that really stands out. Among our dorms, every dorm gets like a set funding budget.
Okay.
And the RAs plan incredible trips, really fun experiences for everyone in the dorm.
So which Subway sandwich shop did they take you to?
Yeah, we did a lot
Just
more.
kidding.
In the fall, we went to Monterey Bay.
Beautiful.
Incredible experience.
Did you go to the aquarium?
We did.
Yes.
We did.
One of my favorites.
We went to the huge glass enclosures. We went down to the deep sea exhibits.
Yes.
Everything. It was so good.
I think that corner of California is probably the most beautiful place in America, arguably on par with the world. It's just stunning.
Monterey Bay, Santa Cruz, and then Carmel. Have you ever been to Carmel?
Yes, I have.
So in the winter, we took an overnight 2-day trip to Carmel. We spent a night there. We were at a really nice hotel. We had a great time.
I mean, that's super expensive there. That is
and
not
everything's
cheap.
paid for.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and
That's
then
great.
in the spring, we went to Ashland.
Oh, wow.
Oregon.
Wow.
We went for the Oregon Shakespeare Festival.
Wow.
So
and that was with a dorm trip?
Mm-hmm.
And how did you get there?
We took an 8-hour bus.
Oh, my goodness.
So
fun.
We were with all our friends from our dorm. And I think that's the most like significant thing among all these trips is that it's with our friends, all of whom we've developed such a great relationship with.
Yeah.
We're all having fun together.
And these are reinforcing those bonds, but also giving you a chance to de-stress and kind of get away, get out of the bubble. Right?
Exactly.
It's a very big bubble over there.
Big thing.
It's a real thing.
Let's get to the bubble in a little bit.
Yeah.
And then apart from that, Stanford has a big emphasis on well-being. I think it's common across the US. But there's a lot of emphasis on making sure that, you're happy.
Yeah.
If you have like an injury or mental sickness, you register with the Office of Accessible Education. They give you accommodations for your exams, for your assignments, for everything. And they just make life easier.
Amazing.
So
very different from some other places.
Yeah. And that's why like you're not going to have a bad experience at Stanford because they take care of everything.
Amazing.
Getting to the Stanford bubble.
Yes. They make it hard to leave, right? You don't want to leave.
You don't want to leave because we have a huge campus. It's 8,800 acres.
Same.
Most of the dorms are concentrated near the center. And so if you want to go to the Caltrain station or you want to go to Palo Alto and you don't have a bike, it's a 40-minute walk.
That's a long walk.
It's going to take you, if you go there and come back, it's like almost 2 hours. If you want a bike there. It's not that long of a bike. It's 10 minutes. That's much better.
It's totally fine. Yeah.
But it's not integrated into a city like some other universities are on the East Coast. I think most universities on the East Coast, like NYU, it's in the city.
Can't be any more
there
in the city
is
than
no
NYU,
border between city and not city.
Correct.
So Stanford is almost the opposite. We have a huge entrance. Like you've seen Palm Drive.
I sure have.
Yeah. Palm Drive's like 2-3 kilometers long.
Yeah.
you just keep going.
Yeah.
To try and leave
Yeah.
campus.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful view.
Yeah.
But it's really far. And this
It's not worth even trying. Let's just stay here. Sounds like a good
that's
idea.
why people just love staying on campus.
Yes.
Um,
The
we have-
nature, right?
we have
It's
everything you might
hiking.
need.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to hike? Go up the Stanford Dish, opposite side of Palo Alto. You want to get some food? You go to Tap, which is our on-campus like late night dining option. Really good burgers.
There's an insomnia cookies nearby, I hope. Is there an insomnia? No, there isn't. Where do you get your cookies? Like the 2 a.m. munchies and you're in the library. You got to get
Tap.
some Tap. Okay. Sounds good.
Tap has everything you need.
Very good. Very good. Good to know.
And then, yeah, so because of the bubble, you really spend all your time interacting with students, other students, and professors. It's a really good thing because you develop a very good relationship with everybody.
Yeah.
You just keep deepening those ties. But it might also be a bad thing depending on perspective, in that you don't really interact with anybody who is part of the real world.
Yeah.
Say.
But I think probably that will change after a couple of years. Maybe as you enter your third year and you want to explore a little bit.
You get
know,
a car,
further.
you can just go off campus.
Yeah. Or again, maybe you want to do a day trip to Berkeley, right?
Exactly.
You're just kind of, you've done everything that there is to do. So I think that's also kind of a natural outgrowth. But I remember many years ago, the first 2 years, I didn't leave campus. And my campus wasn't huge at Hopkins. It was, mid-sized university. But sounds like there's plenty to do there to keep you busy. Amazing. Tell me now, academically, most students have full clarity, or they think they have full clarity, going into university knowing what it is that they want to study. And other countries like the UK, you apply, right? You are locked in, absolutely. It's year 1, year 2, year 3. But at Stanford, they have a single applicant pool, right? They're not reviewing computer science versus, engineering or anything. But then, you hear about having 2 years to decide on your major. What's it like as an actual student? What does that look like in terms of the journey and exploration? And then, you feeling under pressure to settle and specialize in something and focus on one particular field?
It's very transparent in the sense that it's exactly what they sell you. You get full independence, complete ability to declare, undeclare, switch as you wish.
As many times as you want.
As many times as you want. Like
some parents don't believe me when I tell them that.
So when we enter,
yeah,
when you introduce yourself, for example, during the first week, they might be like, tell us your name, tell us where you're from, tell us what you want to major in. And believe me, more than half people say that they're undeclared because that is the reality. Our academic advisors give us no pressure. In fact, they're like, don't declare. You have complete independence and the complete freedom to do whatever you want for the first 1.5, even 2 years. You can declare. If you declare, you get a free T-shirt.
Oh, that's always
it's a freebie.
Is it like an Under Armour kind of moisture wicking one?
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's not like
it's branded. It's branded with your department.
Oh, that's so cool! Wow.
You declare economics, you get a Department of Economics shirt.
Love it.
But that's besides the point.
If I keep declaring different majors, so I get
you just keep getting shirts. And you can
get a whole new wardrobe.
You undeclare the major.
Yeah.
And
they don't take the shirt back, do they? No, that's good to know. All right. That's a great tip for you guys back home. Yeah.
But that's besides the point. Like for your first year, on all the forms, like when you're submitting like an application form, what's your major? The first option is always undeclared. They have genuinely no problem, no pressure being undeclared. I personally knew that I wanted to be like in the field of economics and CS.
Yes.
But I wasn't sure if that meant I want to do data science.
Correct.
Or if I wanted to do like a more businessy like econ major. Because even in the econ major, we have a BA and a BS.
Right.
So I'm not really sure which one I want to do. And I think that's completely okay because for your first 2 years, you genuinely do whichever you want.
And I think sometimes too, international students want to get STEM designated degrees to get the extra OPT. Exactly. But again, you'll figure that out. And I think given that you have 2 interesting majors, right? Or potential majors, I should say, right? They're very different. And I don't know, some students take the opportunity to double major in complementary subjects, but you're kind of going a little bit
Opposites. Yeah.
Yes.
I think diversifying myself
Yeah.
might be a good idea. So, like, economics is the more humanities side,
Mhm.
and then CS is a lot more technical.
Mm.
And I think having both of these options opens up a lot of variety,
Mm.
because a lot of the fields in the real world that we don't have access to at Stanford.
Yes. Yes.
A lot of the things that we do in the real world is a mix of the two.
Correct.
There's always a more human-based side of it, where
Mhm.
you have to collaborate with the team.
Yes.
You need to be on the humanities side for that.
Yeah.
But then some of the things you'll do will be on the technical side,
Mhm.
whether that's like engineering or building software or I don't know, anything
Yeah.
that's CS based. So I think having these two opposites,
Mhm.
if you will, suits me.
Okay. Very good.
But again, I think everyone should do what they're truly interested in.
I agree.
Like I have friends at Stanford
Mhm.
who came in wanting to be a poli-sci major,
Yes.
and then he switched symbolic systems, and then he switched to CS,
Wow.
and then he's considered switching to data science. So
Wow.
he switched to data science,
Wow.
and now he's going back to CS.
And now he has 6 new T-shirts. Yeah. But that's great. I mean, so when you speak to your friends who are in the UK, and you tell, do their heads explode? Like, do
they don't have the freedom, I think, to choose their courses.
They don't.
Their courses are predetermined.
Correct.
In your first semester,
Correct.
you're going to do this.
Correct.
And I'm like, oh, really?
Yeah.
In my first semester, in my first quarter,
Yeah.
I was learning about energy and not really
Yes.
doing any econ.
Yeah.
And they're like, seriously? But you're an
Yeah.
econ major. What do you
Yes.
mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's the US in a nutshell for you.
Yeah. And it's not that one is better than the other.
No, of
it's
course
just a different set of priority, a different pedagogy, a different,
Yeah, because in the UK, you graduate in 3 years. So you
Correct.
get a year's worth of advantage.
Correct.
But in the US, you get the opportunity to explore what you might be interested in.
Yes.
So
Yes. It's
to
a
each their
trade-off.
own.
It's a trade-off.
Yeah.
Exactly. So now as you think about the next year,
Mhm.
right, and you have more clarity, right, more experience, what are you looking forward to most?
I think the ability to go straight into college life and make
Mhm.
the most out of like
Mm.
meeting my friends again,
Mhm.
engaging in all the research. And
You have the lay of the
research
land kind of underneath
Exactly.
you. You know what's waiting for you, and now you can be more strategic and kind of how
and
you.
choosing what I use my
Yeah.
time on.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think that is a big advantage from
Mhm.
freshman year.
Mhm.
You spend your freshman year, I spent my freshman year thinking about like, this is what,
Mm.
exploring everything that's available.
Mm. Mm.
And then in my sophomore year, I want to go ahead and like zero in on the things that I do want to do.
Mhm.
Like I know that I want to do research with the Hoover Institution.
Mhm.
They are incredible in terms of like a political outlook on U.S. relationship with international countries.
Mhm.
And I think that is like something specific that I want to pursue.
Right. Right.
And so having this experience for my first year really helps me understand what I want to do.
Right. What else are you looking forward to?
I
You're doing
think-
research right now, are you not?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I'm doing research with the King Center, econ research on like economic development and social stratification in the Middle East.
Yeah.
And that is really, really cool.
Mhm.
It's really fun to do that.
Mhm.
Something else that I do want to do next year is because our dorm is going to be mixed with all the upperclassmen.
Oh, interesting.
That's unlike freshman year where
Yeah.
there are frosh-only dorms.
Yes.
Once you move into sophomore year, your dorms are mixed with all the classes.
Mhm.
I think I want to spend a lot of time next year like holding on to the relationships and the friendships that I hold dear to me.
Mhm.
I'm going to spend a lot of time like catching up with friends, meeting them, making sure that, we don't drift. Because
Yeah.
what I've realized after high school is that if you do not keep in contact, you are going to drift.
You have to make an
all your
effort.
friends. You have to make an effort. And you have to be strategic with, these are the people who I value
Yeah.
the most.
Yeah.
These are the people I want to keep that relationship.
Mhm. Are you going to go fountain hopping?
I went fountain hopping
did?
last year as well. Yeah.
Complete
It's-
the whole circuit? Is it 19 fountains?
I think there's 19.
Yeah.
I went to like 3.
Oh, God.
And that's
It's
already
like a good first step. Yeah.
It's
It's
a
like
good first
level
step.
1 fountain hopper, like beginner. Yeah. Yeah.
But there's a lot of fountains everywhere.
Yeah.
The best time to go fountain hopping is in the spring, but that's also arguably when you're the most busy.
Exams are
Leading
coming
up to
up, yeah.
leading up to summer,
Mhm.
there's a lot to do.
Mhm.
So maybe next year I'll be more prepared and I'll go
Well,
to all the fountains.
Maybe we'll have you back on and just talk about fountains and which one's
That's
your
a good
favorite,
idea.
which ones to stay away from.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. I think, as a closing thought, right?
Mhm.
You're obviously 1 year in. You've made the most of your experience. What do you wish you knew going into this that you know now? What advice would you give your younger self who was just arriving for international student orientation? What would you have done differently, if anything? But like, what knowledge should students who are in the similar position who are about to
Enter college.
Yeah.
I think the most important thing that I realized was you shouldn't stick to like a single friend group or a single person when you're going into college. I feel like there's a lot of pressure to make friends when you go into college. And that might foster as, sticking to a single group of friends.
Yeah.
Because you feel like
Your
if
comfort zone, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
Maybe your ethnic group or
Yeah.
the athletes or the
Whatever.
STEM crowd, right?
I think you have to step out of your comfort zone
Yeah.
and meet as many new people as possible. And like that is my biggest advice. Don't stick to a single friend group or like don't try to be best friends with the first person you meet. Meet everybody.
Yeah.
And then as time goes on, you are automatically going to be like, you're going to know everybody.
Yes.
To start off. And second of all, you're going to become close with
Yeah.
everybody who would best fit your personality and would help you make the most out of college.
Yeah. And I think when else will you get the opportunity to maybe hang out with a professional athlete,
Exactly.
right? If you're a computer science guy, you're going to be hanging out with computer science people.
All your life.
Yeah, exactly. Might be cool to hang out with a poetry major. I don't know, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's like the other thing. You want to meet like as diverse of an audience as possible. And all these universities, they make sure that, their classes are as comprehensive and complete as possible. So you're going to find everything that you can like, things that you can't even imagine, people that you can't even think that would exist.
Yes.
And meeting these people really like puts in perspective how incredible
Yeah.
these universities and the connections you make are.
Opens your mind, and you are part of the same community at the end of the day.
And so,
Right.
like, I think that's the best way to make the most out of it.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much, Kshitij. It was awesome catching up with you.
It was incredible. Thank you so much.
I'll see you soon. All right. Have a great summer.
You too.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. Thank you.